What do you mean to think? Think about what?
To think about me.
Hello and welcome to the fifth entry of my film journal, where I record my experience watching your favorite movie. I'm Frankie, and today I'm totally getting a divorce with possession. If you are even just a little bit of a horror movie fan who occasionally explores horror cinema related media, you are bound to have come across images like this, or this, or this. At least that was my introduction to the 1981 psychological horror drama Possession by Polish director Sulowski. But even though I was familiar with the concept of the movie, I had never quite managed to get myself to watch it. There's just something about the performance of Isabella Gianni that is already so disturbing from just the images that I think there was just a part of me that wasn't quite ready to embark on a whole 124 minutes of whatever leads up to that point. But now I'm an adult person. I can do whatever I want with my time, and apparently that is watching this probably very scary movie. So let's just start. West Berlin. The color scheme is dull. The music intense. Mark returns home from a totally regular work trip as a spy to an, let's say, uncomfortable welcome from his wife Anna. In bed, they discuss the difficulty of navigating their changed feelings for one another, and it's not quite clear what happened between them, but something happened. Mark has a meeting where he gives an overview of his espionage trip. Whoever these guys are, they want him to continue whatever mission it is, but Mark is certain that his task has been completed and he does not wish to continue because of family matters. Work-life balance, even for spies. Mark leaves the meeting with a suitcase of cash, hell yeah, and returns home to find an empty apartment. As he is indulging in some floor rot time, I love floor rot time, the phone rings and it's Anna calling from downtown and saying that she needs some time to think. This upsets Mark. He goes through their stuff and finds some postcards sent to Anna by someone called Heinrich, and they're saying things like, "I've seen God's face here, the other half is you." Obviously, this is a totally platonic message. I'm sure Mark has nothing to worry about here. He calls Anna's friend Margie and asks her to tell him the truth about whether Anna's been seeing someone else or what's going on, and she confirms it, but she doesn't really want to go into it anymore, so Mark begs her to convince Anna to just talk to him. Also, like, this entire movie, they kept saying that Margie's like Anna's friend, but I don't think, do we ever see them interact? Just two of them? I feel like I don't remember. Anna calls and admits that she's been seeing someone else intimately, and they agree to meet at a cafe to discuss what to do next. There, Mark's like, "I'll give you this much money for the kid. Do you want the apartment? I'm not going to see our child anymore." Just regular dad behavior. Obviously, Anna is upset by this, and they argue. First about their son Bob, and then about Anna's infidelity. I'm sorry, but how do you name your child Bob? The whole conversation escalates into Mark shoving his dishes onto the floor and chasing Anna through the cafe while throwing around furniture. After 3 weeks of what looks like not a very good time, Mark returns home to find Bob alone, covered in jam and neglected. This is where my brain damage really shows, because I just could not understand whether this man with a beard was the same as this man without a beard. I'm just really bad with faces. This is all the same guy that we've been watching, right? Bob shows him a model boat that Heinrich got him before Mark got back from his espionage trip. Mark seems to be dealing just fine with all of this. Is it the same guy? We're just jumping back and forth in time. What's going on? When everyone wears gray suits, like, I just don't know. Anna returns with groceries and they argue. Obviously they argue. Things are not good in this house. Nope, they are not. And Mark says he will move back into the flat and stay there with Bob, and he also tries to convince Anna to leave Heinrich and come back home. He gives Anna an ultimatum to call Heinrich right then and there and leave him. And Anna is basically just having a panic attack at this point. We see Mark putting Anna to bed, and we kind of have a jump cut to later when Mark is woken up by a ringing phone and he is alone in bed. On the phone, Heinrich tells him that Anna is with him, and we also see that Anna has left a note that says that she's going to Margie's instead, so it's just a whole mess. Mark calls Margie and gets Heinrich's phone number and talks to Heinrich's mother, who says that neither him nor Anna are there and that she hasn't seen Anna in weeks and misses her. What a fun movie. Are you having fun? I'm having fun. Are you having fun? She's asleep. I'm definitely not stressed at all. When taking Bob to school, Mark meets his teacher Helen, who looks exactly like Anna. Only her hair is a little different and her eyes are green. Like really, really green. Naturally, Mark is freaked out by the resemblance and tries to snatch her wig off, but nay. He goes to Heinrich's flat to get Anna, but she's not there, but Heinrich is, and this guy has a weird vibe. These guys look exactly the same to me. One's older. Mark mentions his phone call from last night, and he's like, what the fuck? I wasn't even here. What are you talking about? And they continue talking about Anna while Mark just goes through this guy's entire flat. Heinrich's mom arrives, and the dudes get into a kerfuffle. Or whatever you call this. Or this. If I had a house with so many white walls, I don't know if I would beat someone up in there. Back home, a bloody Mark confronts Anna about where she's been, and this argument just makes me sweat just thinking about it. So basically, just know that it ends badly for everyone, and Anna leaves. Mark tries to follow her while yelling out insults, and they cause a traffic accident before she walks off totally normally. Did I mention that I'm not stressed out? I'm so enjoying this movie. I'm having a fun time. Margie with a broken leg shows up to watch Bob while Mark hires a private investigator to follow Anna. Why is he swinging on that chair so much? What does that tell us about the character? Anna returns looking very clean, and they have another argument. This time it's involving an electric knife, so Mark also cuts himself with the electric knife, and Anna, followed by our detective, goes grocery shopping and takes the U-Bahn, where this guy just takes a banana straight out of her bag. What a simply troubling scene. See, this part is unrealistic because I feel like no woman would go sit next to a man if there's empty seats in the car. This guy following her is very good at his job. I'm sure that she had no idea he was following her. That was smooth. That was really good. He tracks her to a flat and makes his way in with the excuse that a window broke onto the street below and he has to check her windows. Anna's seemingly disturbed by the whole situation, but lets him inspect the flat. Anna, of sound mind and body, offers him wine, and the detective guy, weirded out by her behavior, heads to check out the final room where he finds... To be honest, I'm not quite sure what he finds, but it looks bloody and it looks gooey, and I don't think I can show it on YouTube. So Anna uses a broken wine bottle to attack the detective dude, and we cut to Mark giving Bob a bath. Bob's teacher, with these bug eyes, shows up asking to see Anna, and Mark invites her in and asks her to finish Bob's bath. What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? I don't know how it is with you guys, but none of my teachers gave me a bath ever, and I'm totally fine with that. Heinrich shows up uninvited and wants to talk about their love triangle, and he seems totally normal too.
Why don't you like me? Why don't you draw on the plenitude of my love and pour it all over you like fertile rain?
Weird guys. It's so great that everyone's behaving so normally in this movie, and I'm having such a great time describing everything that is happening. This guy is like, I have a family in Cincinnati, and they're my first family, and Anna and you, and maybe Bob, not sure about him, can be my second family.
Because you think you've given him a supreme pleasure? You with your yin-yang balls dangling from your Zen brain?
Yin-yang balls. That was good. Meanwhile, Helen's finished bathing Bob. Normal. And she also put him to bed. Normal. And has basically tidied up the whole kitchen. Normal. Don't you have like stuff to do after work? I feel like teachers, they're already so overworked. She tells Mark that Bob often falls asleep at school and wakes up screaming, and then they lay down next to each other naked. Just regular school teacher activities. This is a totally normal conversation. Everyone's doing really well in this movie. Another private investigator finds Mark and drills him on what he's heard from the detective handling his wife's case. Because this guy obviously has not returned from the job. We know what happened. And the police might soon be involved, so he asks for the address that the detective gave him. I was just gonna ask if this is the same guy who died. My brain works like it should. I promise. They hold hands while the investigator asks Mark not to come to the office until he contacts him. Everyone's so sensual in this movie. The investigator heads to Anna's flat to look for his missing roommate.
Oh my god, they were roommates.
The doors open, great start, and Anna's inside washing the floor. After a brief conversation, she guides the guy to another room where he certainly does see something. How to even describe this scene? There's a creature who is about the size of a human with limbs that resemble earthworms and a very gooey exterior. That's what we're going with.
He made love to me all night.
Gross. How do we still have half the movie to go through? The investigator finds the dead detective on the floor next to them and out of anger shoots towards Anna but misses her. She reacts very badly by beating the shit out of him and then shooting him. I don't know what I expected from this movie, but it wasn't this. Just then, Mark arrives home only to find that someone's left a microfilm on his doorstep. It's a film of Anna giving young girls a ballet lesson. This one scene personally victimized me and will do so to anyone who's ever taken a ballet class, probably. Shout out to anyone who's had a dance teacher like this. We should form a support group or something. Here's the thing. I don't think I'm doing a particularly good job at going into the details of this movie. There's a lot of quick existential and philosophical dialogue between the characters that is just too nuanced, in my opinion, for me to paraphrase in a way that would give it justice. But basically, to put it in 2025 terms, Anna is losing the plot and acting erratic. Not joking when I say my floor here is exactly like that right now, because I decided to clean out my wardrobe. And then I got tired. Now it's finally time for what is possibly the most famous scene from this movie. Yay. Strap in for a great time because Anna tells Mark about how she suffered what seemed to be a nervous breakdown in the Berlin Underground, as well as what is supposedly a miscarriage. I also don't know if I can edit any of that in here, but you know, maybe I'll just cover it up. You can see there's stuff going on there. I'm just protecting you from the goo. Mark asks Heinrich's mom to give him the address to Anna's new flat before getting Bob from school, and Heinrich shows up at Anna's flat with no shirt buttons on site. He sees the gooey and bloody creature that seems to have grown now and has a reaction. He also sees the dismembered body parts in Anna's fridge and flees the flat after Anna stabs him with a knife. I hate it when I'm wearing all white and I get stabbed. Escaping is honestly fair, because Anna starts undressing to get in bed with the slime dude, so yeah, you get out of there. Heinrich calls Mark, who's playing with Bob, and asks to meet just as Margie arrives with groceries. Mark drops by Anna's flat and finds the place somewhat disturbing, I suppose. That's when he has the brilliant idea of blowing the place up with the gas stove, and he meets Heinrich in the bathroom of a nearby bar. Oh, and he also found a gun, so things are looking pretty great. He gaslights Heinrich about the whole thing and alleges that maybe Heinrich was on drugs, and that's why he saw those bodies. He asks Mark for money to send him away somewhere where he can restore his harmony, and Mark shoves a shoe he finds in a bin into the toilet to make it flood, and then he does the same thing to Heinrich before stealing his wallet in order to leave it in Anna's flat before blowing it up. I'm gonna have to cut around all of this. That's fun. He heads home only to find Margie bloody and half naked in the elevator. What is happening? He carries her into the bathroom and Hannah helps him to wash the blood off of him. There's a tender moment between spouses. Now we can assume some normalcy.
Do you believe in God? It's in me.
Okay, never mind. It's time for kitchen floor sex. Mark gets rid of Margie's body by putting it in the trunk of his car. That was smooth. No one heard anything. And Heinrich's mom calls to ask about his whereabouts. She's been by Anna's flat and seen the flames, and also in the bar where she was able to identify his body. So now she's calling about his soul, because his body was there, but not his soul. So Mark drops Bob off at Helen's place, because that's what a responsible parent should do when they got a corpse in their trunk. And he finds Anna sleeping with the gooey creature, who is somehow less gooey because he's grown skin or something. Then, like the day isn't long enough already, he heads to see Heinrich's mom, who unalives herself by taking some pills. Jesus fucking Christ. The next day, Mark is approached by his spy colleagues, who ask him to come back to work because they need him. At Margie's house, where he left his car and her body, he stages a distraction with the police, but ultimately gets shot in the process. Fleeing on Heinrich's motorbike, he has an accident and flees up some stairs. I grew up on the 5th floor of a building that did not have an elevator, and that's how the last few floors went usually. There, he is followed by Anna and the creature, who is, I guess, finished now? He's completed. Loading complete. The creature looks exactly like him, except for the green eyes. Oh, the green eyes. The teacher. Anna hands him a gun, and just as he's about to shoot his clone, police fire from below. Mark and Anna lie on the floor, wounded. Is this the to death to us part? What do they say in English? And she uses his gun to shoot herself in the back. An innocent bystander from the building helps Mark's clone to escape through the roof as Mark drops himself to his death. Later, Bob's at Helen's eating when the green-eyed doppelganger of his father arrives, so he runs into a full bathtub. Honestly, I get it. There's sounds of bombs as Helen looks into the camera. Fade to credits. Okay, that was something. So I have watched this movie twice now working on this video, and I can honestly say that it's a great horror movie. It'll make you frightened and uncomfortable in ways that you won't expect, especially if you want to have some flashbacks to your parents' crappy marriage. It has been reported that Isabella Gianni, who plays Anna in the film, took years to recover her mental health after completing this performance, which in a way is understandable to me considering the scenes that she was in, but also it makes me feel sad that this is a story that we hear all too often from people working in the film industry. But for those of you interested in film analysis, the movie gives ample material to dig into. The setting of Berlin, that at the time of filming was divided by the Berlin Wall, the doppelgangers of the couple, and discussions of spiritual concepts between the characters. Any of these themes could sustain a detailed analysis. Not by me though. Not by me. 'Cause I'm done. Now I only have to edit this whole video. But I will not analyze it. No, 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 no. Hey you. Hey you. Thanks for watching this whole video. If you like what I do, hit the subscribe button just over here and let me know in the comments what movie I should watch next. YouTube thinks that you might enjoy this video next, and I also worked on that one, so just check either of them out. I hope you have fun watching your next movie. Bye. What are your comments? That's what I thought.